board. All right. So again, welcome to the weekly industry update. And as I was saying, it's the beginning of the year. It's the time where we've set new goals and we are getting after those goals right now. And so important that you guys keep them in front of you. Your goals should be on your bathroom mirror, anywhere that are. You in your office, in your cubicle, wherever you are, put your goals on a sticky note and make sure that they're in front of you all the time. Okay. If you're committed to achieving your goals, make sure that you can see them all the time. Put them on your phone, right? So that you are always reminded that you're working toward your goals. Okay. That you never forget what they are. Okay. Let's see what we got in the chat here. Good morning, all. Good morning, Eileen. All right. So, and then the other thing is, I was just listening to our growth call with Keller Williams International, and they were talking about the productivity coaching, and they were talking about how a lot of newer agents, and somebody said this to me last week. One of our newer agents was like, not knowing what to do, right? Not knowing what to do. If that is your challenge, that you don't know what to do or what you should be doing, because I do know that that is challenging when you come from a job, when you come from a job, right? You are put at a desk and you're told exactly what to do from your 9 to 5. This is what I need you to accomplish. Okay. So and when you get into real estate, it's more, it's not as cut and dry, I guess, as it is on a regular job. So if you're struggling to not know, you don't know what you should be working on first, please reach out to myself or Diana. We want to help you because in our minds, it's very clear what you should be doing. Okay. In our minds, it's very clear what you should be doing. So if you are struggling to figure that part out, let us know. We can help you. We can help clear that up for you. We can help give you more structure so that you can follow a game plan. Okay. All right. So let's go into our weekly industry update. Let's see. Who do we got? All right. Yes, I got a good mixture of seasoned agents and newbies. So when I ask questions, I expect you guys to come off mute and be able to answer questions. Okay. This can be interactive, so definitely come off mute and answer the questions. Ask questions if you have them. Okay, don't just wait. Just ask away. Okay, as we go along. All right. So, and we did have some technical issues this morning. The internet went down, or the server went down, actually. And so my computer on the network right now is moving kind of slow. Hopefully, we won't have any break in service, but. Just so you guys know, we've had a little bit of technical issues this morning. Make sure that you guys are TCPA compliant, please. Okay. We do not want anybody getting their hands tapped, getting violations or anything like that, right? Getting fines. And they are expensive. They're even more than the $1,500. So they can be expensive. All right. So starting in LA County. All right. We're going to start in LA County. Remember, this is the first 12 days of the year. I love this because we're taking this journey together for this year, right? We are going to be looking at what it looks like from January 1 all the way until December 31st of 2026. And we're going to be able to see these trends unfold right before our eyes and be able to use the data to be able to see where we're going, right? So definitely let's pay attention in terms of the numbers and understand them. That's why I say ask questions. If you don't understand them, ask questions. All right. So for sale properties has down 15.2% as compared to last month. But again, remember, we're comparing 12/1, December 1st through December 10th. And we're comparing that to January 1st through January 10th. Okay. Just so that you understand this month over month. I typically skip this guy because this middle range is comparing last January 1 through January 10th. 2025 to January 1st, January 10th, 2026. Okay. Typically skip this and I hop over here to the current versus previous year to date, which compares last year to obviously to last year to this year, right? This right now matches because we're in January, but come December, I mean, come February, it won't match because this is going to keep going. It's going to keep rolling, and going to match and going to compare January all the way to whatever month we're in, right? So, but this is always going to compare just the current month to date versus last year's month to date. Okay. Hopefully, I hope that made sense. All right. So looking at the current versus previous year to date. So last year versus this year, it's a 0.5% decrease. Okay, as compared to last year. For sale properties is down 0.5%. Sold properties is down also 48.2% as compared to last month. Down 48.2% as compared to last month. Sold properties. And currently down 17.5% as compared to last year. So just getting out the gate the first 10 days of the month, or first 10 days of the year, we obviously are down in all of our categories right now. Okay. Pendants are down 44.6% as compared to last month. I'm sorry, as compared to last month. And then down 17.1% as compared to last year. Okay. So in all of our three major categories, for sale, sold, and pendants, we are on the decline. We're down as compared to last year. New listing inventory is also down 6.1% as compared to last month and down 27.1% as compared to last year. Okay. So we are still, in all four major categories, we're down. So we will definitely be keeping an eye on this. Now, definitely, this is the first 10 days of the year, right? And we do expect that beginning of the year is always going to be rough, but this is the same when you're comparing the year over year. This is the same comparison as last year. Last year, it was still seasonality, right? So the fact that we're down 0.5% on for sale properties says that we're lagging behind last year's market and sold properties. So we have less closings to the tune of 17.5% than we did last year, this same time frame, right? So we have to see if our market is going to pick up steam, which every indicator says that it will, because our interest rates are going down as compared to last year. Okay. So hopefully that'll start to kick in and we'll see more momentum kicking into our market. Okay. Average active price is up 1.3% as compared to last month and down 7% over last year. So first 10 days of the month, 10 days of the year, the average active price in Los Angeles County is down 7%. However, as you can see, the average sold price, so what sellers are asking for and what sellers are receiving, two totally different things, but their average sold price as compared to last month is up 2.5%, and average sold price as compared to last year is up 3.9%. Okay. So sellers on average in LA County are receiving 3.9% higher than they did last year. Okay. Let's see what we got in the chat. So Santiago is saying, based on this data, would you recommend buyers to wait or buy as soon as they can? So based on this data, buyers should be buying as soon as they can, right? Why do you guys think I say that? Tell somebody hop off mute and tell me, why do you think I say that? Based on the data, why should buyers be buying as soon as they can? And okay, let's put the caveat out there that I'm assuming that they can afford it. Buyers who can afford it, right?
Because there's going to be more competition because more people are going to qualify.
Right. As the year goes on, as interest rates go down, potentially you could have more competition. And what's that competition going to do?
It's going to raise up the home prices.
Exactly. Right. So while there's more inventory and less competition, less buyers, and the interest rates are going down, why wouldn't you hop out there and be buying? Right. Anybody else got anything to add to that? Why else would buyers want to be buying now versus waiting? What is the advantage? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that I always tell my buyers that, after the holidays is, usually a slower time. And then also, it seems like the market ramps back up when people start getting their tax refunds and things like that in spring. So it's definitely a better time to buy now while, like you said, while the market is still slower.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Definitely a better time to buy now that the market is slower. We do know that, is that Tracy that was talking? For me, you guys identify yourselves when you guys come off mute, identify yourself for me. But if that was Tracy, whomever it was, thank you for that, because the reality is that yes, the market is slower right now. And so yes, it's a good time to buy if your finances are in order. Absolutely, it's a good time to buy. It's almost always a good time to buy because over time the reality is that the market goes up, right? Even if you bought in 2005 when the market was at its complete peak, right now, Santiago, if they had bought in 2005 and now they kept that home, or even if they kept it for, I believe it was for 12 years, 10 years, they would have seen the appreciation on that. They would have bought at the height, it would have gone down because it took a dive. And of course, it's depending on where they bought. Okay, depending on where they bought. But most homes actually went back up in the 10-year span. Okay. And then went over and well above what they purchased it for, even if you purchased it at the height of the market. Okay. So depending on your strategy, is this a long-term purchase? Is this your dream home? Or are you looking at stepping up? Are you looking at just keeping this home for 5 years? That's where, as a realtor, we have to be more consultative, right? We have to know what it is their goals are so that we can make an actual help them come to the best decision for themselves and their families. Okay. But yes, now is definitely a good time to buy. Months of inventory is actually up 62.9% as compared to last month. Last month, we were sitting at 2.9 months of inventory. Currently, we're sitting at 4.7 months of inventory in Los Angeles, and a 20.6% increase over last year. So last year, we were at 3.9 months of inventory, currently 4.7 months of inventory. So what market are we in, you guys? Or what market are we definitely on, right there knocking at the door?
A normal market. This is Oscar.
Thank you, Oscar. Absolutely. A normal market. Okay. So, this market, Santiago, to your question, should buyers buy now? Yes. In a normal market, there is less competition, right? More options for them. Now, this is not going to be, remember, you guys know how huge LA County is, right? So this isn't going to be across the board in every city. You're going to see these types of things, but in most cities, you're going to see where it's not going to be this run up of 5 and 7 and 10 offers, 30, 40, and 50,000 above. You're not going to see that. We're not in that market, right? Not with 4.7 months of inventory. Okay. But of course, this is an average of all the cities in the county. All right. So you've got to be hyper local to know the circumstances and know the numbers around your specific area. But like Oscar said, we are in a normal market, guys, in LA County overall. Okay. All right. Oh, let me see. I'm sorry. We've got chat. We're also seeing more inventory, which gives buyers plenty more options. Yep. We just talked about that and explore what different markets are in the city. Are in the cities they're interested in. For example, in Southgate, there's enough inventory and prices are stable. Absolutely. And that's great, Santiago, that you know that information, because if you've got buyers, you can speak directly to what their concerns are, right? And what you need to do to help them to get a home in that area. Okay. And you should know that information for whatever area your buyers are looking in. Or on the flip side, you have to know that information so that you can help your sellers to price their properties right. Right. Okay.
Randy,
average days on market
Randy,
is, yes.
This is Oscar again. One of the
Yeah.
big things that I always tell them is in every 10-year period, real estate prices double.
And that's typically true. You got to be careful with that, Oscar, because that is not always true. Okay. That's typically true, but you got to be careful with that, because when we took a nosedive in 2007 and 8, it took longer than 10 years for that to double. Right? Because we were so high and we took that big, what is it? The recession. It took a little bit longer, but typically you're absolutely right. If we don't see these big recessions, then absolutely, you're absolutely right. And it's so important that, again, that we understand our buyers and our sellers, what their end goal is, so that we can help them and give them the data that they need to be able to make the best decision. Right? So, all right. Average days on market is up 13.6% as compared to last month. Last month, we were at 44 days on market currently, 50 days on market, and then up 25% over last year. So last year, we were sitting at 40 days on market. Currently, days on market is 50 days, okay? Sold versus original list price is down 3.1% as compared to last month. So last month, we were at 96% of list price, currently 93% of list price. And then last year, a 4.1% decrease. Last year, we were at 97% of list price. Currently, sellers are receiving 93% of their list price, okay? All right, let me see. Did we get everything? Yes, we did. All right, so let's go on to Orange County. The OC for sale properties is down 14.9% as compared to last month, and up 3.1% as compared to last year. So OC, different than LA County, is seeing an improvement in for sale properties to the tune of 3.1%. That's great, especially in Orange County, because Orange County, the inventory is ridiculously low. Okay. Sold properties is down 42.8% as compared to last month, and down 18.2% as compared to last year. Pendants are down 44.3% as compared to last month, and down 25.2% as compared to last year. So just like LA County, just like LA County, sold and pendants are down in double digits as compared to last year. Okay. But unlike LA County, we are seeing, and we're in the green as for sale property. So we've got more inventory on the market. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. I put the wrong. Yep, I did. I put the wrong slide up. So I don't have new listing. I'll have to go back and get new listings for us. So average active price is actually down 1.2% as compared to last month, and overall down 15.6% as compared to last year. Wow. All right. But this is just the first 10 days of the year, right? But sellers on average, these first 10 days of the year are asking 15.6% less than they did last year. Okay. However, let's look at this. They're closing for 12.4% more than they did last year on average. Okay. So that's a big jump, 12.4%. But again, that's just these first 10 days of the year. So we'll continue to monitor that. Okay. Months of inventory is up 45.3% as compared to last month. Last month, we were at 1.8 months of inventory. Currently, we've shot up to 2.6 months of inventory. And then overall, a 24% increase. We are looking at 2.1 months of inventory last year, currently 2.6 months of inventory. Now, again, when you're looking at these numbers, guys, the reality is that, like I mentioned before, Orange County, unlike LA County, Orange County is still in a seller's market, right? So when you're in a seller's market, you're going to expect competition. Now, even though they've got more inventory than they have had, no doubt about it, and it's growing, I'm sure it's growing. You have got to be careful when you're showing your buyers in Orange County. You got to be quick, not careful, be urgent, have a sense of urgency. Okay. All right. Average days on market has gone up 25% as compared to last month. Last month, we have 40 days on market, currently 50 days on market. And then overall, a 28.2% increase. The last year, we were at 39 days on market, currently 50 days on market. Let's look in the chat. Here we go. Catherine said, will this presentation be shared somewhere? Yes, Catherine, it is shared on our hub. Are you a part of Keller Williams West Side, Catherine? Yes. Okay. Yep. We share it on our hub, and it's sent out in an email. So, Catherine, put your email in the chat, and I'll make sure that we get you a copy of it. All right. Sold versus original list price is down 1.1% as compared to last month. Last month we were at 95% of list price. Currently, 90 sellers are receiving 94% of their list price. And the overall, I'm sorry, hang on, let me do this so that you can see everything. And overall, a 1.1% decrease as compared to last year. Last year, we were at 95% of list price. Currently, sellers are receiving 94% of their list price. Okay. So remember, we talked about this, like sellers in December, November, December, January, because these are our like holiday months, they're serious about selling, right? These sellers are typically serious about selling. So typically they, do take a little bit less. If they're not closing, if they're not selling, they're going to be willing to give concessions. They're going to be willing to reduce their price, because these sellers that are on the market during the holidays, they clearly want to sell. That they're willing to be inconvenienced during the most I was gonna say the most wonderful time of the year, but you guys get what I mean, right? You're spending your time with your families. It's very busy. And you typically people don't want to be bothered with buyers coming in and out of their home. So if they're willing to be inconvenienced like that, then they want to sell. And so I know that's why we're seeing like sellers are receiving 94% of their list price, because hey, they want to get what they want to get, but they're willing to accept less to get sold. All right, what we got in the chat here? Oh, of course, we got you, Catherine. And then Tracy said, can I get it emailed? Or where is it on the hub? The hub is our Facebook group. You guys, yes, the hub is our Facebook group. Eileen just sent you a friend request so that you can be on the a hub group. So thank you so much, Eileen. Catherine, our hub group is for Downey. So I believe Westside has one as well. Now you can certainly be on ours. The only issue is when we'll talk about it offline. Put your number in there too for me, Catherine. Okay, put your number in there too. That way we could talk about that offline. All right, because we have to have a way to manage it. So and we just don't have access to your roster and all that. That's why I'm talking about that. All right. But we do send it out on email, Tracy. Everybody gets it out from it's sent out by the front desk. So front desk 561@kw.com. You guys should all put that email address as a safe email address so that you receive those emails, so that it doesn't go to your spam. Because you want to make sure that you do get those. Everybody gets the email, and it normally comes either today or tomorrow. Okay. Let's see what we got. Okay. My pleasure, Catherine. All right. All right. So Riverside County is up, guys. So for sale properties in Riverside County is down 4.2% as compared to last month, and down 5.7% as compared to last year. Sold properties are down 44.6% as compared to last month, and down 23.1% as compared to last year. Pendants are down 20.8% as compared to last month, and up 6.4% as compared to last year. So definitely that's great news, right? That the pendants are up, because that means hopefully that's going to flow into the solds and going to push us up in the sold category, but we'll see. New listing is down 5.5% as compared to last month, and down 34.4% as compared to last year. So first 10 days of the year though, right? We're seeing double-digit decreases almost across the board in terms of inventory, except for in Orange County. Okay. Average active price is up 1.3% as compared to last month, and down 2.6% as compared to last year. So On average, in Riverside County, sellers are asking for 2.6% less than they did last year, and they're receiving 2.2% more than they did last year. Okay. Because they're closing at 2.2% higher than they did last year. First 10 days of the year. I keep saying that because it's just not a lot of data to go by. It's good for us to know this and what's going on. But we'll see what it looks like more towards the end of the year, right? After having this next week will be 3 weeks. All right. And then we've got 72.8% increase in terms of months of inventory. So last month we were at 3.3 months of inventory, currently 5.7 months of inventory. Okay. So remember, what are the months of a normal market? Does anybody know how many months is considered a normal market? We said 4 to what? Let's see who said it.
This is Danila.
Thank you, Danila. 4 to 6. That's it. Absolutely. So a normal market is typically 4 to 6 months of inventory. Good guess, Catherine. Good guess. You were almost there. A normal market starts at 4 months and ends at 6, and typically anything above 6 is considered a buyer's market. Okay, so right here in Riverside County, we are definitely in a normal market. Okay, overall, a 23.7% increase over last year. Last year, this time we were at 4.6 months of inventory. Currently, again, 5.7 months of inventory. Average days on market has gone up 6% as compared to last month. Last month, we're at 50 days on market, currently 53 days on market, and an 8.2% increase over last year. So last year, we were sitting at 49 days on market, currently 53 days on market. Okay. And then sold versus original list price has gone down 1%. We're at 96% of list price last month. Currently, sellers are receiving 95% of their list price, and no change over last year. So last year, sellers are receiving 95% and still receiving 95%. Okay. All right, let's head on to San Bernardino County. San Bernardino County, for sale properties down 12% as compared to last month, and up 0.4% over last year. So San Bernardino County and Orange County are only 2 counties that are seeing positive inventory gains as compared to last year, first 10 days of the year. Okay. So that's a good sign because we want to see that inventory number go up, right? And then sold has gone down 32.2% as compared to last month and down 17.2% over last year. So we've got less closings these first 10 days of the month than we did last year, to the tune of 17.2%. Pendants are down 38.8% as compared to last month and down 20.9% over last year. New listing inventory is down 21.9%. I'm sorry. 21.9% as compared to last month and down 36.4% over last year. Okay. So we've gotten less new listing inventory than we did last year. Again, first 10 days of the month. We'll probably see these numbers hop up, right? We'll start to see gains in February. Hopefully we will shrink this deficit come February, March, April. You guys know our selling time is springtime, right? And if you guys were on the Buffini bold predictions, where we talked to Dr. Lawrence Yun, Brian Buffini, and he was talking about the fact that we should see a springtime surge. So we should see in spring where our sales start to really pick up like they normally do. So we'll see our standard type of seasonality, right, where sales pick up in the spring and summer. Okay. Average active price is down 0.8% as compared to last month and up 1.1% as compared to last year in San Bernardino County. Okay. So on average, sellers are asking 1.1% higher than they did last year, and they are receiving, they're selling for 3.5% higher than they did last year. Overall, we typically see about 4% appreciation, right? Anywhere from 4 to 6% appreciation, but typically on average, it's about 4 if you looked at it across, across the board. Okay. Probably the last 20 years. You're looking at about 4% or 30 years, probably, you're looking at about an average of 4% appreciation. Okay. So that being the case, 3.5%, a little bit below average, but still good, right? Still good, because sellers can say that hey, I didn't sell last year, but I'm selling this year, and I'm still in the green. I'm still getting appreciation, right? I'm still seeing a higher price potentially than I would have last year. Now, this is really going to depend on your area. This number, you've got to be hyper local, because in some areas prices have gone down over last year. Okay, let's just be real. And in some areas, they have gone up. That's why this is an average. And because it's 3.5%, you guys can easily see where in some areas it's probably down, right? And in some areas it's 5, 7%. In some areas, it has gone down. Okay. All right. Excuse me, guys. Months of inventory has gone up 30.3% as compared to last month. Last month in San Bernardino County, we were at 3.6 months of inventory. Currently, 4.7 months of inventory. Very similar, right? To, I believe it was Riverside County. Okay. And then 20.6% increase over last year. Last year, we're at 3.9 months of inventory. Currently, 4.7 months of inventory. So we definitely are in a normal market, right? We're definitely in a normal market, I believe, in Riverside County and San Bernardino County. All right. Average days on market, 11.5% increase as compared to last year. Last year, we're at 52 days on market. Currently, 58 days on market. Now, you guys should have automatically known that based on this number right here, that the months of inventory has gone up. We've got more inventory, right, than we did last year at this same time. You knew your days on market is going to go up, because when you have more inventory, buyers have more choices. Homes tend to stay on the market longer, right? So your average days on market goes up. So year over year comparison, it's a 20.8% increase. So last year, the homes were sitting on the market for 48 days. Currently, 58 days, right? Average days on market is 58 days. All right. Sold versus original list price, no change as compared to last month, sitting at 96. Sellers are receiving 96% of their list price, and a 1% decrease as compared to last year. So last year, sellers were receiving 97%. Currently, they're receiving 96% of their list price. And again, who helps sellers determine the price of their homes? We do, right? So we have a significant what do you call it? Influence on that price. We've got to help our sellers price ahead of the market, so that they're one of the ones that sell and not one of the ones that's going to just sit on the market forever, right? Because that's what's happening. Properties are sitting on the market and not actually getting sold. Okay, so we've got to be there to help our sellers to get their properties sold, because some sellers still have that mindset of, ooh, I can get asking for whatever they want to ask for because they remember that their neighbor 2 years ago, or even a year ago, got this high price. And right now in that market, in their market, there's more inventory and house prices have leveled out and they can't get that price anymore, right? Or maybe they can get very close, but not quite there. Or maybe they didn't have the proper condition or the all the dates, right? We got to be really good. We've got to get really good at pricing properties right, so that we can help our sellers with the data, help them self-realize what their property value is, so that they can make the right decision and get their property sold. Okay. All right. Upcoming events. Well, you guys are here today. Thank you so much for being here at only the second time we're doing the industry update for the year. We have group coaching this afternoon with Diana Carbajal. That's at 12 o'clock. And then we also have conversations in real play on Tuesday at 9 a.m. with Diana. Let's see. We also have on Tuesday, we also have our regional tech, which is on Zoom at 3 p.m. That's 3 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday. 3 is going to be talking about Command on the Go, part 1, exploring the Command app. And then Command on the Go part 2 is on Thursday, expanding the Command app. And those are Zoom only. And then Wednesday, we've got our broker hour with Ed. That's going to be at 10 a.m. He's going to be talking about the new form. Okay, there's a new form that's out. It's the referral fee disclosure. It is mandatory. So let's make sure we all understand. We should all be on that call. If you're an active realtor or real estate agent and you're doing business, you need to be on that call if you don't know what this new form is. Then we're doing our tech workshop that's in-house with Martha. Then we have on Thursday, if you're a member of the Downey Association of Realtors, Joshua Gloss, our top producer. He's like the #2 agent in the area, you guys. He actually was in our office this past year. We had him here. He did a coffee with a capper with us, and gave a great, actually, I'm sorry, he did one of our team meetings. He spoke at one of our team meetings. He's just a go-getter. And if you don't like all the cussing and stuff, sorry, because Joshua will drop the F-bomb and he cusses, and yeah, he's just that guy. But he's super cool. And he's a top producer. So definitely, if you want to go and listen to him, that is great. And then they pitch listings at the broker preview. They pitch their listings. So all the listings in the area, well, not all, but all who submitted their listings, they'll go and they'll talk about the listings. Okay. So if you have a listing that you want to pitch to your local realtors, definitely go. All right. And then at 10 a.m., again, Ed is going to be talking about apartment series. Now, this is really cool. He's going to be talking about calculation basics for beginners, how to determine the value of apartments. Okay. So cap rates, knowing the income numbers. This is going to be a really cool series for those of us who want to get into selling commercial, because apartment buildings are typically commercial, anything 5 units and above, right? So if you really want to get into that and you want to learn the basics and start from ground zero, this is going to be a great series. And it's on Zoom at 10 a.m. on Thursday. All righty. So that's Mr. Joshua there. Now, Ignite After Dark, if you guys are dual career agents and you want to hop into the Ignite series, Ignite After Dark is available. So join. This is our link for the West Coast. Click on that and you sign up, and it's on Tuesdays at 6:30. Okay. Don't forget about the Airbnb referral program. If you want to be able to get referral fees from your clients who actually sign up for Airbnb, you can absolutely earn referral fees from that. So don't miss out on a potential income source. Okay. You sign up. It's Airbnb. Well, it's actually MREAnotes.com/Airbnb. Okay. Sorry, this is not our latest one, but listen to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. I was actually listening to it. The guy is Girov, and he is talking about property management. He manages 5,000 doors, you guys, 5,000 doors in 14 different states. Okay. He's built a huge business, and he lays out the plan. He really does lay out the plan. He lays out his compensation plan. He lays out his structure. So if you guys have ever thought about property management as another source of business, he really does lay it all out. And it's fascinating, a great business model, because he talks about building it up yourself or partnering with someone. Okay. So listen to it. It's good information to have. And then, of course, you guys know of the One Thing podcast. Great podcast to listen to every single week. Feed yourself with great things, right? Good in, good out. Okay. And Jay Papasan, it's, Gary Keller, Jay Papasan, the writers of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Jay Papasan actually wrote The Rookie Agent. He is amazing. He's just a wealth of knowledge. And the One Thing podcast is always uplifting and inspiring. Okay. Industry news. So we've got the Trump corporate home purchase ban. So basically, I'm not sure if you guys heard of this, but President Trump is limiting the ability for large corporate investors to buy homes. And basically, that's his way of trying to find a way to boost housing supply, is not allowing big corporate investors to purchase and also to improve affordability. The thing is that most of the people, most of the economists are looking at that and saying that, corporate owners aren't really our biggest issue, right? So they are not sure that this is really going to make much impact to the issue of affordability and housing supply. So it's not addressing the key issues right at the heart of it, which is builders building. Most of the folks who are talking about this are saying, what we really need to do is relax some of the restrictions on builders, incentivize builders to build in certain states and cities, offer less restrictions on the builders, and that would improve, getting pumping housing supply up, versus banning a certain segment of people from purchasing. So again, just wanted you guys to know that that's coming. There's supposed to be some aggressive housing reform coming in 2026. We will, of course, you guys will be the first to know because we'll be reporting that to you guys on this particular call, and we also talk about it when we're in our team meetings and things like that, because it has a direct impact on us. And not only that, you want to be in the know. When you're in the room with other folks and they're like, hey, did you hear about such and such? You don't want to be caught off guard, right? You want to be like, oh yeah, we talked about that in my Monday call. And really, this is what we're hearing. And then you guys can and be a part of that conversation instead of just a bystander. Okay. And then the buyer's market expected to persist for the foreseeable future. And basically, and I'm sorry, this might be a duplicate. Did I bring another one in? Let me see. Nope, I did not. Did I? No. Okay. This one might be a duplicate, but they are talking about our buyers markets, be persisting. We do know that interest rates are going down. Now, remember, this is a national publication. It's the Real Estate News. It's a national publication. So although, quite frankly, two of the four markets that we were looking at, two of the four counties that we look at are in a buyer's market, right? The other two, quite frankly, are in sellers markets, right? So again, we got to be hyper local, because in a particular neighborhood or area, city that you're in, you might be in either a buyer's market or a seller's market. You've got to know which one you're in. But they are saying that overall, we are moving into a buyer's market, and we are seeing our numbers go up and move towards that 4 months of inventory. And they're saying that may persist for some time. That affordability is getting a little bit better, right? Because interest rates have gone down and continue to go down, and because of those interest rates going down, and quite frankly, buyer demand not being as high as we had anticipated, it's not causing this influx of buyers to come in right now. So what is that doing? That's causing sellers to reduce their price instead of upping their price, because they're trying to incentivize buyers to come by. Okay. So any questions? Because that is it for today. Questions, comments? We all good? You are very welcome, Catherine. Thank you guys so much for today. Thank you. Have an amazing week. I am looking forward to seeing you guys in group coaching and on the calls this week and in the trainings. We've got some great things coming up for 2026, and I'm excited because we are going to get after it this year. All right. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye-bye. You're welcome.
Thank you, Brandy.
You're very welcome. Mhm.